I have very strongly opposed DeShone Kizer. And I've said time and time again, DeShone Kizer is not the guy the Browns should rely on. I have said the Browns should draft Sam Darnold with the number 1 overall pick. So I took a step back. I offered every single counter I could possibly offer to that opinion. The thing is now, after I've done that, I'm a lot less sure of what I believed before. I really have my doubts. I thought so strongly the Browns should take DeShone Kizer number 1. I said the Browns should take Sam Darnold number 1 overall, and I was so strongly set on that. And when I really looked at it, I don't know. I'm going to argue in defense of DeShone Kizer. So is Sam Darnold, heck, is Josh Allen, are any of these rookie quarterbacks really a better option for the Browns than DeShone Kizer is next season? DeShone Kizer or Sam Darnold? What's a better option for the Browns? Let's start by talking about Sam Darnold. Here's what I have said about Sam Darnold in the past. Sam Darnold is not ready to dominate he's not ready to dominate the NFL right now. Sam Darnold has a lot of room to grow. There's going to be significant growing pains. I've said the Browns should draft Sam Darnold and be patient. I've said he's going to struggle. He's not going to look great at first, but you got to be patient, invest a lot of time and a lot of resources into Sam Darnold. That is what I've said about Sam Darnold. I've also said that Sam Darnold has a bunch of natural gifts. I've said, look, he's an incredible athlete. He's got a big arm. He's a huge kid. He is made to play in Cleveland weather, to play in that cold, swirling winds. A guy like Sam Darnold is made for that kind of weather. The key, though, is that Sam Darnold is the youngest quarterback in this year's NFL draft. And the key, again, is I've said you need to be patient. I've said the Browns need to relax, let him grow, let him make mistakes, and that Sam Darnold has a ton of potential. So these are all things I have said. And these are all things many people have said. These are commonly held beliefs. That Sam Darnold is young, he's going to make mistakes, but he has a ton of potential. And I've said the Browns need to draft him and be patient. So I think it's interesting. Sam Darnold in Cleveland sounds a lot like DeShone Kizer last year. If you draft Sam Darnold, it's just a repeat of DeShone Kizer last season. It's the same guy. I hate it when I'm wrong. I don't like it when I'm wrong. And it's funny, a few people in the comment section were viciously screaming this for weeks, and a lot of people have agreed with me, and a lot of people have said I'm wrong. I don't know where I stand, but I know this. I remember when DeShone Kizer was coming out for the NFL draft. DeShone Kizer last year was considered a possible number 1 overall pick. People were so excited about DeShone Kizer. Everybody said, well, he's the youngest quarterback in this year's NFL draft. Sound familiar? And they said teams would have to be patient. Teams said DeShone Kizer last year was a huge kid with tons of natural ability. He's really raw. He's going to struggle at first, but he'll figure it out eventually. Who does that sound like? It sounds like Sam Darnold. See, the funny thing is Sam Darnold and DeShone Kizer are basically the same guy on paper. On paper, if you look at everything you can say about Sam Darnold, it's the same thing people said about DeShone Kizer last year. It's hilarious. Here's a great argument against Sam Darnold in Cleveland. If the Browns were to draft Sam Darnold, they would basically be restarting a new process of teaching a guy and having patience. They already started that process with DeShone Kizer last year. If you're going to do that, why not just continue the process you started last year with DeShone Kizer? Honestly, that's actually, I think, a good argument in favor of DeShone Kizer. You're going to hit the reboot button and do the same thing you did last year? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you do invest in DeShone Kizer. Now, there's an alarming stat. DeShone Kizer threw 11 touchdowns and 22 interceptions last year. He threw 2 times as many interceptions than he did touchdowns. Again, 11 touchdowns, 22 interceptions. That's scary. However, then you look at a guy like Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning was awful. He threw so many interceptions his rookie year. Peyton Manning, 26 touchdowns, which, sure, it's better than DeShone Kizer, but 28 interceptions. Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions in a 16-game season his rookie year. So last night, I went down a rabbit hole. I did. I watched every single game DeShone Kizer played last season in the NFL. I started in my bed, and I ended up in front of my desk. I was laying in bed watching on my phone, and I just got excited. I needed a notebook, and I watched every single game DeShone Kizer played last year for the Browns. Every single snap, taking notes vigorously. And what I saw was a lot of bad mistakes, and honestly, a lot of great moments as well. DeShone Kizer, at times, man, that dude looked incredible. There were things I was like, wow, this guy's a rookie? And then you'd see the rookie mistakes, but there were times he'd move in the pocket. He really did show some great flashes. And what's funny about watching DeShone Kizer last night is that's about exactly what I would expect to see from Sam Darnold next season if the Browns were to draft Sam Darnold. It really would be. It really would be. So if the Browns do commit to DeShone Kizer, that would be an incredible scenario for the Browns. It would be great. The Browns could draft Saquon Barkley number 1 overall, and then they could draft Bradley Chubb with the number 4 overall pick. Here's what you would have if you did that. If you decided to commit to DeShone Kizer and draft that way, what you would have is a franchise quarterback, a fantastic running back, and 2 crazy, scary defensive ends. You would have Bradley Chubb on one side and Myles Garrett on the other, and every single quarterback you would play would be terrified. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the truth is the Browns are too afraid of being the team that doesn't draft one of these quarterbacks. They don't want to be the team that passed on Sam Darnold, and in 10 years, Sam Darnold is a Hall of Fame quarterback. That's really the fear, I believe. But why not? Why not commit to DeShone Kizer? Why not? You've already put a year into DeShone Kizer. Why give up now? Why give up and start a new process with just another guy? I would kill to know what the Browns are thinking. I would love to know what Hugh Jackson really thinks of DeShone Kizer. I really would. Does Hugh Jackson have any faith in DeShone Kizer? I mean, it seemed like they did. And then they benched him. He started 15 of their 16 games, which is, the benched game was weird. I didn't know what to make of it. I really didn't. It's a weird occurrence. I don't know. There's clearly some mixed feelings about DeShone Kizer, and I don't know. It might serve them well to just commit to DeShone Kizer. It really might. Now, my biggest knock on DeShone Kizer is that DeShone Kizer was out past 1 a.m. on the Friday before a game. So game's on Sunday. DeShone Kizer was out till 1 a.m. on Friday night. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You can't be a starting quarterback in the NFL and do that. But I'm willing to say, look, DeShone Kizer was a 21-year-old kid. And I don't think this will ever happen again. I really don't. I mean, DeShone Kizer's from Toledo, Ohio. So I just think it's worth discussing. I think it's worth talking about. Hey, DeShone Kizer's made mistakes, but I think he'll grow. I think we can forgive him for his mistakes. I don't know. I'm really curious what Browns fans think of DeShone Kizer. Should the Browns give up on DeShone Kizer and start over, start another process, the same one you did last year, start a new process with Sam Darnold? To me, that almost seems silly. It doesn't really make sense. That seems counterproductive. To waste another, not necessarily waste a draft pick, but use a draft pick to do the same thing you did last year. I don't know. I've never met DeShone Kizer. I have no idea. I've met Sam Darnold. I can tell you what. Sam Darnold is a competitor. But I don't know. I think it's incredibly interesting. What do you think the Browns should do? What do you, Browns fans, what do you think the Browns should do? I'm incredibly interested to hear your opinion. I think they're going to draft probably Sam Darnold or Josh Allen. But I don't know. It was worth a discussion, I think. DeShone Kizer is definitely worth a debate. Should the Browns just commit to him? That's worth a conversation. Thank you so very much for watching this video. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, please help me grow by sharing this with your friends on Facebook, on Twitter, on Reddit. Help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. And if you want more, if you like this podcast, if you like my content, you can find Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and also on YouTube.